along Northeast 13th Street. Flags fly, and doctors are hard at work.
Translate back if you want.
At OU Health, allies work together.
We've been very impressed with what they've been able to accomplish.
Dr. Mark Mims has led the charge to train Ukrainian surgeons,
so that they could better treat their war-injured patients.
Surgeons like Alexander Pkg
It's very useful.
and Igor Federko,
Very helpful for our wounded soldiers.
who practice medicine at Kyiv Military Hospital.
Here,
They have a tough job
So it's a little bit difficult.
in a country plagued
The stories that they will tell you will absolutely break your heart.
by the consequences of war.
but we don't have enough technologies to treat these patients.
In the past couple of years, Mims and his team have trained Ukrainian surgeons for complex head and neck surgeries.
And they've had extremely good success.
Now they are adding a tool
These glasses allow the surgeons to live stream their surgeries.
from a donation by the nonprofit Ohana One,
Live stream in 1080p HD,
a first of its kind opportunity.
capture still shots, draw diagrams.
To add clarity
We will now be able to see exactly what they are seeing,
and guidance
just as if we were talking on the phone,
from 5,000 miles away.
allowing them to be more comfortable with these complex procedures.
These gentlemen
This is the best work
have patients counting on them,
to help another people.
but they can count on their new colleagues too,
You can be useful for all society.
who feel a lot closer to home. In Oklahoma City, Jordan Fremstead, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
Live life to the fullest.
Trey Trammell lives life in the fast lane.
It's fast.
Trucks and motorcycles own his passion,
I bought this truck a long time ago.
and one of his pride and joys took the brunt of an impact without a key in the ignition.
I can't think of who would do this.
On May 17th,
About 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Trey and his wife Shannon returned from his father's funeral in Texas,
Then I come home to this, yeah.
and they discovered evidence of an action.
And this piece of trim that was still here, it melted in a little bit
Was it Mother Nature,
and all that. And I thought my truck would get lightning.
or was the culprit someone else?
I don't know.
The eyes of their home
This is the camera right there, picked it all up.
caught someone,
There's only one way in, one way out right here, this road here.
a person pouring gas onto Trey's truck,
That's pretty extreme.
and video explains the rest.
I want to know why and I want to know who.
The damage was limited,
Got lucky on that, you know.
but the mental toll is extensive.
I just feel violated.
However, Trey is glad the target wasn't his late father's truck.
I'm glad we were in that and that didn't get burnt, you know. It'd been a little much there.
He hopes the police can answer their countless questions,
I just feel real vulnerable, you know, and I don't like feeling like that.
so his family can shift their focus
Yeah.
on the road ahead.
I love life, man, and I'm thankful for every day.
G&E working around the clock following Saturday's swath of tornadoes. Earlier tonight, about 600 customers remained without power. That's come down some since then, and that is down from 46,000 at the peak. Our Sylvia Corkill joining us live from one of the hardest hit communities in Sulphur. Sylvia?
Amanda, we're standing here in the OG&E Command Center here in Sulphur. Over the past 4 days, 65 crews have come and gone, working to remove tree limbs and debris from power lines and then restoring them. All of this in an effort to restore a sense of normalcy to a community turned upside down.
All of a sudden, you could feel it, and then you could hear it.
With an EF3 tornado bearing down,
The sound, it was like,
Shannon Tucker and her family
it was just me, my husband, and the dog.
huddled in their home.
You know, we were holding each other and praying, you know, just asking for safety. It felt like the house was going to be sucked up.
But then,
All of a sudden it went quiet?
Yeah. It's like, and then it was over.
while their home sustained minimal damage, much of the town was wiped out.
I just started crying because I couldn't believe the devastation. 2 blocks from my house.
Within hours,
This is here for when they build back, so we will already have our infrastructure here.
the cavalry linemen came rolling in on orange trucks. OG&E Area Supervisor Terry Looney lives in neighboring Davis.
Just devastation, just, you know, where do you start?
So far, 350 broken poles and 60,000 feet of power lines have been replaced by OG&E in areas many of them call home.
It is so rewarding to be able to help, especially a friend and a neighbor.
I can't believe that 2.5 days later we have power. They have worked nonstop.
Tucker says their community is forever grateful to those who have been a light in a time of darkness.
Just people from all over coming to help, and it's just been amazing and a blessing.
Now keep in mind, if you are in Sulphur, a curfew remains in place. That placed there in an effort to curb looting. Live in Sulphur, Sylvia Corkill, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
Only on 9, our cameras rolling inside the Oklahoma County Jail as cadets were getting a real look at situations they could be facing. This is part of the training for the detention center's largest class that will graduate tomorrow. News 9's Deanne Stein is live at the jail with more on the need they are filling. Deanne.
That's right, Carl. 26 cadets will enter this building on Monday as detention officers, but this week they had a chance to put their skills to the test. This is just a training exercise, but it's an accurate depiction of what could happen behind the walls of the Oklahoma County Detention Center.
It was our job to secure the scene.
Cadets like Christopher Havenridge Jr. ran through various scenarios inside one of the resident pods here.
We got a situation going on. I need you to do as you're told. It helps us know what we're getting into before we actually have to get into it, you know?
The situation?
Thank you so much, man.
A resident who barricaded himself inside his cell.
A lot of times the subjects are possible suicide, self-harm.
Captain Jamie McGuckin says that's why these cadets need to be prepared to act.
Unified team here, okay? Sometimes you can talk them down, sometimes you got to use a little pepper.
I don't think there is any way to get used to that.
Ultimately, we try to create scenarios where it's not necessarily unwinnable, but we do want to add challenge to it.
Like calming unruly residents and those who refuse to take orders.
A lot of times when you go into a pod, they're out on recreation, so you got to deal with those people.
Hey, don't make it easy for them when you get up there.
This cadet class is the largest since the jail trust took over in 2020. And with more than 200 hours of training under their belts, they will help ease understaffing issues here at the jail.
The number of staff that we have here has a direct correlation to the amount of workload that our current staff has, and the more that we have to spread around that workload, the better off everybody is.
Now the cadets graduate tomorrow and will begin their on-the-job training on Monday. Live in Oklahoma City, Deanne Stein, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
The Northeast OKC community can hopefully have some relief in knowing police have just made an arrest. News 9's Jordan Fremstead spoke to one resident who lives there and says events like this really happen too often. Jordan?
Yeah, Amanda, well, when we arrived on scene, I mean, you could really feel the energy just leave the air as people stood around in disbelief. And the gentleman, as you mentioned, that we met this afternoon, well, he has a personal story related to gun violence, and he was reminded of that experience when he saw the flashing police lights.
It's going to be some real emotions tonight.
The signs and words
unthinkable
illustrate this scene.
This is horrible.
Leaving little doubt.
Wow.
About what happened
in broad daylight
at this busy intersection at Northeast 23rd and Lottie Avenue.
It's sad as hell.
With 2 people shot.
The shots came from the store.
And 1 person killed.
A man on this side of the street, the north side of the street, saw them, produced a firearm, opened fire on both of them.
Brandon Sullivan.
We nervous out here just looking around.
Lives in this neighborhood.
It's not who we are.
He walks the sidewalk to donate blood.
Yeah.
But this time, police lights.
It's a lot right now. So.
Filled his eyes.
Yeah.
A reminder of his own experience.
It hits home.
In Denver, Colorado in 2015, Brandon says he suffered a gunshot wound.
Because it went through my stomach and ping-ponged through. I shredded my liver completely. I did a few things to me, but it's nothing as devastating as this.
He donates blood.
That helps people. I know it helped me.
For a reason.
Right, it helped me survive, so.
To save others.
Of course.
On this day, there's little to say.
I'm just sad for the family. You know, that's all I can say. I'm sad as hell for the family.
But Brandon says people must act.
It's happening so much around the country, not just here.
The Gun Violence Archive shows more than 10,000 people have died from gun-related deaths this year.
Because this ain't right.
Another scene paints a picture.
It's a shame, man.
Of a painful reality.
This ain't for nobody's family. This ain't for nobody to go through.
That Brandon has seen.
This is wild.
And lived.
Somebody has to stop this.
Now, we did meet a friend of the person who lost their life today, and they said they died too young and that they were just one of the best people that they knew. They had nothing but good things to say about that individual, and that's why this whole event is going to be so painful for them. They say it's going to take a long time to heal from today. We're live at OKCPD headquarters, Jordan Fremstead, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
Show them that sweet stash.
We make a pretty good team.
How do you find new depths?
We're here. Yeah. We made it.
Meet Kim and Nathan Maker.
Yeah. We're pretty cute.
They will let you in on their secret.
Love.
Yeah.
Love.
Love, yeah. This love story begins about a decade ago.
We've got to learn to scuba dive.
And I said, no. Crazy people do that.
When Kim convinced Nathan to dive a little deeper.
Yeah.
Literally.
And fell in love.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, there's nothing like it.
Fast forward to last week. They've dived hundreds of times before this trip off the coast of Freeport, Texas.
I'm glad you're back, buddy.
This story explains why a larger crowd welcomed them home this time.
That they didn't give up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nathan helped a woman who drifted away from their scuba diving group.
And you're supposed to grab onto what's called a down line.
In the process, Kim and Nathan lost the line.
Not worried at all.
Not worried, just disappointed at that point.
Yeah.
And they would soon lose sight of their boat.
Nathan has the good sense to tether us together.
Did that, and that's how we stayed tethered together.
Nearly 2 days passed.
Coast Guard said like 50-mile-an-hour winds. So we were really rocking and rolling in there.
Dolphins kept them entertained.
I can't believe we just saw that. Wait,
incredible.
We're still floating in the ocean.
Yeah.
This isn't great.
Hope began to fade.
I think we were 1 hour away from them calling it a recovery instead of a rescue.
One rescue member.
Thank God for the Coast Guard.
Never lost hope.
She just had a hunch, and they turned their plane.
Yeah, she just had a hunch, and she said, I want to give it one more try. Those Coast Guard guys, men and women, didn't want to give up on us.
They found themselves at a hospital in Lake Jackson, Texas.
They brought a full-on hospital bed
Yeah.
and stuck us right next to each other so we could hold hands.
It was precious.
They're home now, thanks to a bond tethered deep within their hearts.
We don't give up, right?
Yep.
With a splash of humor.
We're probably going to stick to the rivers and lakes that we're used to.
Do you get it? From and then one of the guys.
I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, one
Jordan
of the guys
Fremstead,
died. He's
Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
Outside the Southern Oaks Rec Center, there's a home for fun and childhood imagination. But inside's the place for childhood dreams.
Like a lot of us, I've watched this since I was like 8 years old.
The playground.
Oh, yes.
Of Empire Pro Wrestling.
Just because it's predetermined don't mean it's fake.
Here, co-owner Levi Ash is better known as Malachi. It's fun. That's unforgiving.
It's like being in a car wreck, especially if you don't do it correctly. You know, you're hitting your head, you're really hitting your back.
Here in the land of slams and storylines.
We live to entertain our crowd.
This night, one fan in particular.
It feels like a place where you can do whatever you want.
Like many 7-year-olds, Omar Montoya is shy in front of the camera.
When is this even gonna end?
But here,
Do you yell when the wrestling match is on?
Kind of.
It gets crazy, but he loves it.
his mom Angeli loves to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after his stage 3 cancer diagnosis last year.
You know who prepares for something like that? So it is hard. But we, I try my best to make sure that our lives are normal. I want him to be a normal kid.
And last year was anything but normal.
Due to me having to go to all the treatments, I had to leave my job. I'm thankful for my family though, because they came through and they helped me with everything that I need.
Neither knew how that family was about to grow.
We can't be in his place, but we can help him and try to make it better for him.
All proceeds tonight go to Omar.
That's what they're paid to do.
Sport loved from childhood.
We're here because of Omar.
Now shows love for this child.
Why we do it is kids like Omar.
The escape through slams and storylines show he doesn't fight alone.
Champion, Omar.
Headaches, though, for homeowners in central Oklahoma after record-setting rain this week. In Purcell, one neighborhood is digging itself out from a layer of mud. News 9's Matt Pkg spent the day talking with neighbors about the damage, and he joins us now live from Purcell with more. Matt.
Carl, folks here say that they're prepared for all kinds of severe weather, but they also say that the rains at the start of this week, that they came down faster and heavier than anything that they've seen before. In a place that calls itself the heart of Oklahoma, homeowners in Purcell find themselves at the heart of a messy issue.
It's not really fair. It's not fair to the neighbors, us or anybody.
Jaya Foote says this was her family's backyard.
Oh my goodness.
Nature oasis.
This is where they used to ride four-wheelers.
Casualties of the recent flooding are now fossilized reminders of what they believe is making it worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to stop. It's never going. And another thing is, when they pour all this concrete, aren't we going to be getting more water?
A neighborhood expansion uphill is turning heads. Andrew McClung says that's how his front lawn ended up like this.
They're supposed to berm it off and do what they got to do to essentially keep water from not coming this way, but to go to the detention pond that way.
What sounds so simple has become a labor of love.
And I was out here with a shovel in the rain trying to get the mud away from the building.
A few days later, the mess is better than what it was.
I mean, a lot of young kids, they ride their bikes, their scooters, and when that happens, we have a small neighborhood here, it shuts down the neighborhood.
Evidence of an issue at the heart of this community urges a reminder for everyone to work together. And McClung says that the developer has offered to fix his front lawn. I've reached out to the developer myself, but have not yet received a response. Reporting live in Purcell, Matt Pkg, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
A News 9 investigation reveals at least one town is enthusiastically complying with the new directive. News 9's Matt Pkg joins us live from Agra in Lincoln County. He shares what exactly children will be working on in schools. Matt?
Carl and Sylvia, dozens of districts across Oklahoma have publicly stated that they will not be putting the Bible in their classrooms. But through a News 9 investigation, I learned that Agra Public Schools made a decision to follow that directive the same day it was issued. A small Oklahoma town leads the way. Betty Knox preaches her message proudly.
Keep living for Jesus, because he's the one everybody else should be living for Jesus.
Her evangelization has soared to new heights. Agra Superintendent Jeff Kelly, who doubles as the town's Baptist pastor, praised State Superintendent Ryan Walters in an email. He told Walters the Bible was desperately needed and gave him the necessary protection and cover. Kelly declined an interview. Here in Agra, students are going to be tested on some of the same topics, but with new references to the Bible. And for students in high school music classes, that's going to include singing and interpreting the song Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho. At the 5th grade level, students are going to be asked the question, when did music start to exist according to the Bible? And in other classes, students will have to give the biblical backstory for common sayings and phrases. People we talked with in Agra Wednesday all spoke in favor of the new curriculum. Tim Durbin's daughter graduated from Agra a couple years ago.
There's one Lord, one God, and one Savior, the man Jesus Christ. And that's how we're going to get to heaven, and that's how the kids are going to have to learn it. I mean, they need to learn it. If they don't learn it in the home, it's going to come back to the school.
While many districts are left with a cloud of uncertainty about the directive, Agra Public Schools has quickly stepped up. The district spent $45 purchasing 15 copies of the new King James Version Bible. Its superintendent says that they have not received any guidance on if that's reimbursable at the state level. Reporting live in Agra, Nat Pkg, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
I think that's part of my roof.
At the Rafferty household,
We were lucky.
there's no time to dwell,
They've already started tearing stuff down.
but there's plenty to see.
Yeah, it was a lot.
That's Tiana Rafferty's sunroom,
Was a nice little place to sit, but,
or what's left of it.
and it will be again, hopefully.
On Sunday, Chickasha felt Mother Nature's wrath.
Yeah, just a crazy day.
Tiana's cameras caught the show.
30 seconds of terror.
Her family moved to the metro from Maine 8 years ago,
It's been fun and it's been scary.
before settling down
It's different, but it's great.
and planting their roots,
I didn't know I needed it.
buying their first home,
Kind of like my pride and joy, which is weird, but it is.
a place where her kids can grow, with the nature around them.
It's brought so much peace to me.
Tiana tries not to sweat the small stuff.
As much as I love it,
The sunroom will be fixed.
it's replaceable. I won't be without a sunroom, I'll tell you that.
She has plenty
Really
of help.
impressive.
Even without a roof,
What brings you peace, you know?
she sees the extra light shining down on her family.
We're lucky to just have what it was and, you know, nobody get hurt.
Oh, the party at the Palace is in high gear tonight as OU celebrates its move to the SEC.
The university is entering a new era after leaving the Big 12, and events have been going strong since 11 last night. News 9's Jordan Fremstead is live in Norman with reaction from fans. Jordan.
Well, Carl and Amanda, how could you not be excited about the transition to arguably the best conference in college football? We're here at the party at the Palace where they're wrapping up with a drone show behind us right now. People are starting to file their way out of there. Everything from the SEC network being in town today with the Paul Feinbaum show to live music here. Fans coming together from around the country to celebrate this new beginning. Day one marks a new beginning. A new goal. The excitement.
Oh yeah, sure we are.
Worn on the faces of OU faithful, young and old.
I changed my flight one more day so I could stay to be here for this.
Pat Blanc.
Graduated in 1985.
And his grandson Jackson Cook came from Gulf Breeze, Florida.
I said I live in SEC territory.
Where football is life.
I'm ready to get it on. To be honest, the Big 12 got stale.
Jackson roots for his home state.
Florida.
But he gives the Sooners their credit.
I think OU's a better team.
Pat loves to return.
We can see all the tradition that we've got here.
Returning to a place.
This is the best.
With its own drumbeat of success.
So I attended the 2000 championship game down in Miami.
However, the SEC,
there's been some tough teams,
defines the college football standard.
I think we're as ready as we're going to be.
Oklahoma holds an opportunity on a grand stage.
Boomer Sooner.
For Pat, OU always means something.
And I'm Sooner born, Sooner bred.
But a new era and a new conference means
explains more.
When I die, I'll be sooner dead.
Now, Kirk Herbstreit, college football analyst, he tweeted out, we're only 8 Saturdays away from college football beginning. As far as the SEC goes, for the Oklahoma Sooners, they will welcome the Tennessee Volunteers on September 21st. That will be their SEC conference debut, and I know the excitement's only going to build from there. We're live in Norman tonight. Jordan Fremstead, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
Monday evenings may not have the same roar as college football Saturdays. One thing's for certain, on a Monday night, you'll hear a breakdown of the weekend game.
Good evening, everyone.
The night comes alive as Coach Gundy arrives inside the legacy village of Stillwater Senior Living.
Hey, here's Coach Gundy.
Excitement fills the room, transforming this quiet retirement home into a buzzing fan hub filled with drinks, snacks, and America's brightest orange.
When you have a live audience and there's reaction and laughter and all of that same feeling and emotion gets captured on the radio broadcast.
For Dave Hunziker, the voice of the Cowboys, this idea has been brewing for a while.
Because I'd been in here a gajillion times, seeing them, bringing them groceries, whatever, and so I knew this place could really work. And I kind of staked this place out. My in-laws live behind that wall. They are next door.
For both Hunziker and Coach Gundy, this is more than just another radio show. It's a chance to reconnect with the people who have supported them for years.
For Coach and I both, so many of these people we've known for my case, 24 years, in his case, 40 years.
In the audience, you'll find OSU alumni, former professors, and retired Congressman Wes Watkins. It's a special connection that makes this setting one of a kind.
I may be 20 years younger than a lot of the residents, but I went to high school with their kids. So I knew them. I know so many.
Val moved in just 3 weeks ago, but Monday nights allow her to reconnect, not only with old friends, but also her love for Cowboy football.
I'm not going to miss it now.
It's not just about Coach Gundy. Residents get to meet OSU's star players.
Cowboy linebacker
Nick Martin, the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, says this type of interview is unlike any other.
It's super genuine because, the questions are coming from a pure source, and people are genuinely wondering, what I do with my free time.
So every Monday night, it's not just about football. It's about community connections and Cowboy pride. In Stillwater, Tevis Hillis, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
Joshua 1:9.
Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
That's the verse Brendan McClarty lived by.
Loved his family, his faith, and his friends, and he loved his sports.
Like many sports fans, baseball was like Brendan's religion.
We found a letter that he had written to himself that he would read, and it just was to his future self, and it was about him playing baseball for OU.
But that dream was cut short in May of 2012.
He was fast.
Brendan suffered a fatal asthma attack on the last day of his sophomore year in high school.
So since that time, that has been our mission, is to get inhalers in every single school in the state of Oklahoma.
Like the two panels on a baseball, Brendan's mom Lori and her best friend Jennifer Blair.
That flat bill
are stitched together with a common goal.
To be able to honor his memory every day by providing life-saving medication is just, it's very healing for us.
Stitch by stitch, they're getting closer to their goal every day. The inhalers are in 359 districts and were used 1,800 times just last school year.
We always joke that he's probably looking down on us and laughing. And shaking his head, saying, what are they doing now? What are they doing now?
Along the diamond.
Yeah, we'll never stop.
Honoring Brendan.
Till the day I die, we won't stop.
For Oklahoma Zone.
For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
I'm Haley Wager.
Frustration and concern at tonight's City Council meeting in Guthrie as residents demanded answers for their unexpectedly high water bills.
Tonight, council members are learning about options to fix those issues. We got News 9's Jordan Fremstead live tonight in Guthrie. He's been following this, and that's where residents made their voices heard tonight, huh, Jordan?
Yeah, that's right, Carl and Bobby. Well, and you can understand their frustrations. Some people received water bills that were hundreds of dollars higher than they were expected to pay for. But tonight, at tonight's City Council meeting, they were able to leave that meeting with a little bit of relief.
Tonight's Guthrie City Council meeting addressed an unwelcome holiday surprise.
Well, it was $840.
Expensive water bills.
That's not normal.
Chad and Tammy Pearson want to understand why their bill is hundreds of dollars higher than normal.
We've been working diligently around the clock.
The city says they're brainstorming solutions.
And that's what needs to be done.
Guthrie City Manager Eddie Faulkner says a base station that electronically reads water usage malfunctioned.
Had a catastrophic failure.
It took 6 months for the city to replace it in November.
Unfortunately, that's something that we weren't prepared for. We ended up having to estimate an average bills for about 6 months.
Faulkner says there could be a problem with their estimates for certain customers. He says they will investigate everyone's bills.
We will never charge any customer for water they didn't use. So
for the moment, Chad and Tammy are satisfied.
A lot of them were interested in the solution, so that's a good thing. Recently purchasing a home and getting married and everything, every penny counts.
They're okay with bills they're prepared to pay.
Yeah, it'll make Christmas better.
Now they'll wait for their leaders to act on their words.
Wait and see what they come up with, what solution, and go from there.
Now, there's still a lot of work to be done. The city says that they're going to manually check on people's water meters. So people are going to be going to 150 different customers' homes to triple check to see if they can find any errors. We are told that that work is expected to begin tomorrow. We're live in Guthrie. Jordan Fremstead, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
They were going through what was designated on their map as a safe zone in the river.
Both of these juveniles were in 5-point harness, approved car seats that were in there, and they were buckled in securely.
Sunday afternoon at Happyland ATV Park, 8-month-old Legend, his 2-year-old brother RJ, and 2 of their siblings were on this UTV with their mother and her fiance, the children's uncle, Dylan Clark.
Nobody was drinking, nobody was being rowdy. They're just out having a good time, as a family.
Everything is showing that this is a tragic accident.
Initially splashing through several inches of water, the river bottom suddenly dropped.
The current took them in, and it was a matter of a couple seconds, and they were all underwater.
Able to break free of their seatbelts, 2 children were rushed to shore as their mother and family members desperately trying to locate the swallowed-up UTV.
It was just muddy, dirty water. You couldn't see nothing.
Strangers jumped in.
Every adult that was there was more than willing to lose their life to save those babies.
After 20 minutes, the UTV was pulled out, the children still in their car seats.
They got the 2 babies cut out, and then they were both rushed to the hospital.
With Legend gone and RJ clinging to life.
You can never prepare yourself for something like this.
The family can't help but question why.
A lot of anger, a lot of confusion. They, advertised it as family fun place.
"26-year-old Austin Wynn was a cowboy at the rodeo and in life.
My brother was ornery, but he had a huge heart and he loved big."
Ashlyn Jones said her brother joined the family tradition of hauling livestock.
Our family it's been 3 generations, our grandpa and my dad and Austin, that have hauled horses and cattle.
From Tecumseh, Austin traveled a well-known route to Texas and back 2 to 3 times a week.
The area was common for the whole family, and not anywhere he wasn't supposed to be. That was just his route on his way home.
But his cousin Asia Bradley said on May 12th, he didn't make it home.
Absolute shock that it would happen on Mother's Day and just Sunday morning.
The family says Austin had just dropped off a load of horses and stopped at a gas station near Midland, Texas to refuel.
That's the last anyone ever heard from him.
Shortly after sending that text, police found Austin shot to death outside his 18-wheeler at this busy intersection off West I-20 in Midland County.
Something that never should have happened. He didn't deserve it.
The investigation is ongoing as the family struggles to find answers as to why Austin was killed.
Someone had to have been in that area at that time and seen that. And we hope that this will get out, and maybe find that person that does know something.
In Oklahoma City, Deanne Stein, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
still outside.
Oh, he's always full of energy. He likes running and jumping and showing you superhero tricks.
Jet Martinez loves Spider-Man and Transformers.
He loves playing outside on his swing set with his brothers and his dogs.
But one day last month, he got a tummy ache.
Draw across your tummy where it goes. Like that.
You want to?
Mm-hmm.
Jet's mom found a lump on his side.
So she took him to the ER, and then they did some scans, and that's when they found the mass tumor on this kidney.
My tummy wanted.
It was a Wilms tumor, or nephroblastoma.
Could have been another type of kidney cancer, but it was Wilms, which is the higher treatable one, so we were really thankful that, I mean, it's weird to say you're thankful about something with cancer, but it was the better prognosis.
So Jet had the tumor removed in October and has been undergoing chemotherapy since.
He does really well at chemo, like he does good once we get there, but it's really hard each morning when he says, "Mama, is it a hospital day? Do I have to do chemo today?" And he's so thankful when it's not, and when it is, we have some tears, but once we get there, he knows the process now.
I just need this one.
It'll be a truly home for the holidays type, month type year.
Because Jet is getting chemo on Christmas Eve.
When you see your baby laying in a hospital bed and they can't play with you, and you can't take away the pain and stuff, it just makes you want to go back home and be able to play with them all those times that they asked you to.
That would be so hard to build, right?
To cover you on the news when you do that.
Okay.
We're very blessed to be working in Oklahoma City, so it's a great opportunity for us. Let's put on a Christmas party for the Boys and Girls Club in Woodson Park.
I believe this is the 4th year in a row that we've partnered with the Oklahoma City Police Department, and they've been a fantastic partner in this.
I think we initially had about 30 kids that were going to the club, and it's just continued to grow each year.
It really does take the entire community to give these kids a wonderful holiday, and we're grateful for all the support we've received.
All right, boys and girls, are y'all ready to meet Santa here in just a second?
Yeah, so each year we've tried to bring in Santa a different way. This year we used our motor unit to escort in our Bearcat. We had Santa in the Bearcat, he was looking out the turret, and the kids loved that. Last year we did the helicopter, so we try to switch it up a little bit each year and do something different. Yeah, so we had different activities set up for them inside.
Oh man, you need some help? The police officers that have been here have done an incredible job. I mean, they're not just here to be here. They're interacting with the kids.
Let me see this. Show me what you got here. Let's see this masterpiece. Woo! Look at that.
They're walking right alongside of us to help make sure these kids have an incredible holiday experience. The officers take it upon themselves to take care of all the gifts.
Pull your stick. So close.
Usually around November, I'll get a Christmas wish list from the Woodson Park Club, and each of the kids usually puts about 3 gifts on there that they would like to have, and then the officers pretty much adopt the kids, or they'll pick kids to buy gifts for. They go out, they buy the gifts, we make sure all the kids are accounted for.
You hear me clap your hands 3 times? Boy, y'all good.
It's something that we do off duty, but the officers love doing it. Once we put the list out to the officers, I think it was filled up within a day. We had almost 70 kids spoken for.
Being able to watch the kids open their presents is just such an incredible blessing, because it reminds you of what the holiday season is really all about.
It's a great way for us to give back to our community. We want these kids to be comfortable with us and be able to feel comfortable talking to us. A lot of our officers, we have kids too, so love being around them, love to be able to interact with them.
Hello. Hello. Hi.
And it's just a great event for us and a way for us to give back to our community.